there is a different classifications of the projects. According to my experience, we can define three main types. Depends on flexibility of the project. The first one is waterfall. Waterfall project planning, it's the least flexible and the longest one. Usually you using waterfall planning under the 1 year. For example, when you're planning budget, taxation, financial report. So you making a plan for the whole year and it's expected that you follow it. And it's good for big organizations when you have hundreds or maybe thousands employees, as well as you have to plan a big projects that involve a lot of resources, stakeholders, etc. Maybe it's not the most effective planning, or maybe it's not the most flexible planning, but it's needed to avoid the chaos in your project. Waterfall planning does not exclude some flexibility. For example, if you build in a house, you still can get some feedback from your customer each month or after you finish some big part of this construction. The second groups of planning is Agile planning. And in Agile, the first one is the Scrum. Scrum, it's a planning when you have much more flexibility than in Waterfall planning, but you still need to plan. Scrum works best for the small groups. It's recommended to have 3 till 5 people in a Scrum group. And the Scrum period or sprint, usually 3, 4, maybe 5 weeks. In my experience, the most popular period it's 3 weeks. Logic of Scrum planning, it's pretty similar to the Waterfall planning. Again, you need to collect all customer requirement, what they want. It's called user stories. Then you need to transfer these user stories in concrete technical requirements that called product backlog. And when you collect all your product backlogs or technical requirements, you just spread responsibility in between your employee and begin to work on them. So you divide what tasks are waiting, what tasks from product backlog you need to prioritize in the first place, and what you can take a little bit later. There is another similarities with the Scrum and Waterfall. When you have sprint or Scrum short period of planning, like 3 weeks, for example, you cannot change something. Question to train the logic. If you have sprint or Scrum period that can be approximately 3 weeks, can you change the product backlog under this period? Or you have to wait till the Scrum period is finished? The final type of planning is Kanban, and it's least similar to Waterfall planning, because in Kanban you have only general planning or general algorithm how to finish the tasks, but you are not planning beforehand. So you know how you're gonna finish the task, but you don't know what you're gonna do exactly, because task coming unexpected. For example, call center or support team, they cannot plan beforehand what kind of questions do they have from the clients. The only thing that they can plan is general algorithm how to meet customer requirement or how to answer the questions. In Kanban, you have only 3 steps planning compared to 4 steps planning in Scrum. In Kanban, you have only tasks and establishes that are waiting in a line, tasks that are in a process, and tasks that are finished. And usually you have period around 1 or a few days. Question to test your logic. In which time period Kanban works the best? Few hours, few days, few weeks, or few months?